Good afternoon. Here I am going to teach you about design of machine elements. So myself Asma Tausal Sheikh, lecturer in mechanical engineering, UPT Warangal. So first we are going to learn about the shaft. This is the chapter 2 in the design of machine elements. So in this first we are going to learn about the shaft. So in the shafts we are learning about functions, materials, and types of shaft, standard sizes of shaft as per IS, a design of diameter of solid shaft, hollow shaft to transmit the given power at the different RPM based on the strength and rigidity. So next we are going to learn about comparison of solid and hollow shaft, design of axles and numerical problems on the shaft. In this chapter we are going to learn about all these topics. So first of all, we go through the general applications of the shaft. So in generally, what is the shaft? Which shaft is used to transmit the power. So here, so generally we may see first we'll see is the bicycle. So here we use a shaft based cycle. So here power is when we are driving the bicycle, the will uh, wheel moves first. So when the rear wheel moves, based on the rear wheel, the front wheel moves. So how the front wheel moves? So based on the rear wheel. So here how the power is transmitted from the pedals to the wheel. So here we are using the shaft which is used to transmit the power from pedals to the wheel. So next general application, most of the times we use shaft in gear pumps, nothing but gears. So here we use gear pumps. Here we are using so shaft. From this we there is a here we are seeing the gear pump. From the gear pump we get different types of speed based on the gears which are mounted on the shaft. This is the another application of the gear pump. Next we use propeller shafts. Where the propeller shafts are used, so mainly so where we need to transmit the power from one place to another place, in between we use a lot of propeller shafts. Mainly propeller shafts we can see in the buses, uh, heavy vehicles, so that the power will be transmitted to the rail wheels, so that power has to transmit. So in the vehicles, if we see the vehicles, so what happens? Power is generated at the most of the heavy vehicles. The engine will be at the front side of the vehicle, and here where which wheels moves first means rear wheels. So when the power has to transmit from the front of the engine to the rear wheels, so in between we have to use the propeller shaft, so that power where the power is produced at the engine, from the engine there it has a gearbox, and it has a clutch between the engine and gearbox which has the clutch. So from the clutch it has to send to the gearbox, and from the gearbox the power has to transmit it to the rear wheels. Here, so gearbox is having is also having the shaft. So where which there is a which is used to change the speed of the vehicle, and the from the gearbox the speed has to transmit it to the rear wheels. So in between the gearbox and the rear wheels, so we use the shaft. Those shafts we use propeller shafts. Propeller shafts is generally having a universal coupling, so that there are number of propeller shafts. So we use so these propeller shafts are used to transmit power from the engine to the rear wheels. So this is the another application of the shaft. So next we will see in the turbine shaft where the power has to produce. So in generally, so hydraulic power stations we use the turbine with turbine shaft with the impellers, where the water imports on the propeller, so that propeller moves. From the propeller is connected to the shaft, so that the shaft will move, so that the generator generates the power. Shaft is connected to the generator, so when in the generator power generates. So it is generally used in the power plants, hydraulic power plants. So we use turbine shaft. So these are main applications of the shaft, where shaft is mainly used to transmit power from the one place to another place. So function of the shaft is a rotating machine element which is used to transmit power from one place to another place. So generally power produced at some other place. So when we need to use that power at some other place. So in between these two, we need to use the shaft. Shaft purpose is to transmit power from one place to another place. Generally, shafts are of circular section and could be either solid or hollow and are supported on bearings. So generally, shaft is a rotating element. If we placed on the rough surface, there is a chance of wearing, so that we place it on the bearings which has rollers, so that there is a less chance of wear. So they may carry some rotating parts like gears and pulleys. So shaft is consisting, most of the time it has gears and pulleys. So here power is delivered to the shaft by some tangential force, and the resultant torque or twisting moment set up within the shaft permits the power to be transmitted to various machines. So generally how the power transmits means some tangential force is applied on the shaft. So due to the tangential force, there is a resulting torque or twisting moment. So this shaft permits the power so to be transmit. So which of this transmit twisting moment, so power generates, that power is transmitted to various machines or various other shafts also. So in order to transmit the power from one shaft to another, the various members are such as I said, there is a pulleys, gears, etc. are mounted on it by means of keys and splines. So to mount pulleys and gears, so shaft must consist of either keys or pulleys, splines. Otherwise, so shaft will move at some speed and the another part will move at some speed, either it is pulleys or gears. So if we have keys and splines, it will be like a locking system, so that the same power has to is transmitted to the pulleys or gears. So the pulleys and gears along with the forces extended upon them causes the shaft subjected to bending moment. So, so, so here, which is generally shaft is having a only torque. If shaft is consisting of pulleys and gears, there is a chance of external force applied on the shaft. Due to that, there is a cause of bending moment also. In other words, a shaft is used to transmission of torque and bending moment. So if there is no pulleys or gates, so there is only a torque. If it consists of pulleys and gates, it has a bending moment also. So here shaft is used to transmit torque and bending moment. If it has pulleys and gates, then only it has a bending moment. Otherwise, shaft is only having a torque. So here, so due to the pulleys and gates, it causes a bending moment. So the advantages of shafts as a power transmission devices includes so simplicity, compactness, ability to handle higher power, and to operate over a wide range speed. However, there is no facility for changing speed on or torque. The alignment is normally fixed. So because it has a it has a Advantages of it has simple construction and it is compact, it is very smaller one and ability to transmit higher power. It can transmit a high power also and they operate a wide range speed. So if it has a gauge, it can be transmitted at higher range of speed. If there is no, so if it doesn't has any keys or pulleys, there is no change of speed. So where the power is given to the shaft, that exactly will transmit it to the other machine without any change in the speed. And alignment is normal. So when the two shafts have to connect, it must and should have same alignment. If there is a little bit change in the alignment, there is a chance of breakage of shaft. So it has to be critically same aligned. Shaft must be critically aligned. So this is shaft. So similar to the shaft, we have axle also. So axle is similar to the shaft and is a stationary element. It doesn't transmit any torque and we use it to transmit only bending moments. So means axle is consisting, it is like a rod which has a rotating part but it doesn't transmit the power from one place to another place. It consists of rotating parts but it doesn't transmit the power. It is just a stationary element so it has only bending moment. Spline is also like a shaft, but it imparts motion either for cutting tool, spindle. So spindle is a short shaft that imparts motion either to cutting tool or to a workpiece. So it's generally used in drilling machine and lathing machine. It is a small shaft. It consists of cutting tool. So generally, so here we have next we have a classification of shafts. So classification of shafts. Shafts are broadly classified according to their first one is function and next one is physical appearance. So function, according to the function, it has transmission shaft and machine shaft. So transmission shaft consisting of line shaft, counter shaft. So these transmission shafts are mainly used between the source and the machine absorbing the power. So from source to the end point. So from source to the end point, we use number of shafts like counter shafts, line shafts, jack shafts, and all other factory shafts. So transmission shafts are used to transmit between the source and the machine using the power. So here line shaft is a long continuous shaft which receives power from the source and distributes to the different machines. So here main one is the line shaft which receives power from the source and distributed to different machines. And jog shaft is directly connected to the source of power and from which other shafts are driven. So from jog shaft to it transmits to the another shaft. Counter shaft receives power from line shaft and transmitted to machine. So these are all the different types of shafts which are generally used to transmit power from source to the other machine observing machine the power, other machining parts. So which uses that power. So all factory shafts which that comes under the transmission shaft. So next shaft is, so here transmission shaft is nothing but power is produced at somewhere and the power is using it somewhere so that in between to transmit power from one machine to another machine we use different shafts like line shaft, counter shaft, jack shaft. So basically these are of transmission shafts. So which transmits power from source to another machining other parts, other machine. So next one is a machine shaft. Second shaft is machine shaft. So these shafts are an integral part of the machine itself. So here the power is in between the machine only. So it is not transmitting to other machine. So the shaft is used internal part of the shaft. Generally it is like crankshaft. So where the power produced in the engine, the crank is also in the engine. So in production of the power itself, we are using the crankshaft. So so the shaft is in between the machine itself. So that is why it is called as machine shaft. So we have two shafts. One is transmission shaft and machine shaft. So transmission shaft is nothing but which transmits power from source to the source of machine, one machine to another machine. So whereas the machine shaft is which is used integral, which is nothing but integral part of the machine. So that is an example is the crankshaft. So here we are classifying the shafts according to the physical appearance. So physical appearance, as I told, shaft is the circular part itself. So one is cylindrical one and spline shaft. Cylindrical shaft we have solid shaft and hollow shaft. Solid shaft is nothing but it has a full material, and hollow shaft it is having a hole inside the shaft. So these are all two types in the cylindrical shaft. Next one is spline shaft. So this is a solid shaft and this one is the cylindrical hollow shaft. So here spline shaft is nothing but which has a slot on the shaft itself to accompany either gates or pulleys. So spline shaft is consisting of around it consists piece. So this is a spline shaft. So next one is shaft materials. Materials used for the shaft. So here materials for shaft should possess the following. So shaft materials should have high strength and good wear resistance and low notch sensitivity, ability to be heat treated and good machinability. So material must and should consist of high strength, good wear resistance, low notch sensitivity, ability to be heat treated and good machinability. So shaft must and should consist of all this. So depending on the requirements, the shafts can be made up of ordinary shafts. So plain carbon steels are alloy steels. So for ordinary shafts, we use mild steels. All commercial shafts are usually made of carbon steels having 0.25 to 0.4% of carbon. So that is nothing but mild steels. Mild steels are used for ordinary shafts which has normal strength. So for high requirements, we use alloy steels. So there are two types of materials we generally use, that is mild, so low carbon steels, plain carbon steels and alloy steels. So for ordinary shafts which has low strength, that can be used as mild steel. For high strength requirements, we use alloy steel. So here alloy steels can be such as nickel, nickel chromium and nickel vanadium steels. So chromium vanadium is used for high strength. So for ordinary shafts, we use mild steel, and for high strength, we use alloy steel such as nickel, nickel chrome, or chrome vanadium is used for high strength. So here, so shafts are either made up of hot rolling or cold rolling process. So which material is either hot roll shaft, hot rolling or cold rolling. Hot roll shafts are used to size and then finish. So hot rolling shafts are turned to size and then finished. So here in hot rolling process, we need to heat the material and then we we get the shape. After that, we need to finish the product. For cold rolling, are the stronger than the hot roll shaft, the process possesses higher residual stresses. Shafts for special purpose are made by force. So due to manufacturing and so these are all the materials. So one is mild steel and the next one is alloy steel. These shafts can be hot rolled or cold rolled process. So next we have sizes. So size of the shaft can be so due to manufacturing and transport difficulties, all commercial shafts are made in standard lengths such as 5 meters, 6 meter and 7 meters. So because so there is a problem in the transporting difficulties and manufacturing process. So in the manufacturing process, we cannot make large sized shafts. In the same way, for the transporting also we use for the transport we use maximum lorries or trains. So there we cannot put a very high length shaft. So that's why there a limit in the shaft that is 5 meters, 6 meter and 7 meters. 7 meter is the maximum limit for the length. So here we're coming to the diameters. So standard diameters of the transmission shafts are so diameter is minimum of 25 mm to 60 mm with 5 mm steps. That means so after 25 it can be 30, next 35, 40, 45, 50, 55 and 60. So these are all the available transmission shafts, standard available sizes. So if you want a different diameter, you need to give the special dimensions. So next to 60 to 110, it can be 10 steps, nothing but 60 to next one is 70, next 80, 90, 100 and 110. These are all the standard available shafts diameters. So next one is 110 to 140, it can be 15 mm steps. So 110 to 125, 125, 130, so 15 mm steps. So next 140 to 500 mm, it is 200 mm, 20 mm steps. So these are all the standard available sizes, the diameters, and the standard length is 5 meters, 6 meter and 7 meters. So if you want different sizes, you need to specially give an order. Otherwise, these are all the available sizes of the shaft. So next we have different, the following stresses are induced in the shaft. So here, as I said, so shaft is transmitting the torque and bending. So when you are transmitting the torque, the shaft consists of shear stress due to the transmission of torque. So shaft is produces shear stress due to the transmission of torque. So next, shaft produces bending stress that is tensile or compressive due to the forces acting upon the machine elements like gears, pulleys, etc. as a self weight of the shaft also. So bending stress can be produced because of external parts like gears, pulleys which is mounted on the shaft, as well as it has some weight. Shaft is also consisting of some weight. So it has only supported at the edges, so that the self weight of the shaft also can produce the bending stress. So this is shear stress due to the transmission of torque, and bending stress is due to the external elements as well as the self weight of the shaft. The stress due to combined tensile and torsional and bending loads. So shear, if the shaft doesn't consist of any external parts, it has only shear stress. If the shaft is consisting of pulleys and it also rotates, the shaft is only consisting of like rotating parts, so it bending stress only applies. It is applied only for where axles are used. So axles consisting of bending stress, only shear stress consisting if the shaft doesn't have any external parts. If the shaft is having transmission as well as external parts, it has combined torsional as well as bending stresses. So these are the stresses in the shaft. So based on these stresses, you need to design the shaft. So here we were discussed about general application of the shaft. So that is, so where we use the shaft basically, that is to transmit the power in gearbox or clutches, propeller shafts, turbines. So we use shafts where there is a chance of power transmission. So here shaft is a circular shaft, circular. It is in the shape of circular. So shaft is only having in the shape of circular. So it can be either solid or hollow. So it is used to transmit the power from one place to another place. So it can consist of pulleys and gauge. So pulleys and gauge is mounted on by means of keys and splines. So pulleys and gauge along the forces supported upon them causes shaft subjected to bending. So if shaft is consisting of gauge and pulleys, then it has a bending moment. Otherwise, it has only torque. So if it has both torque and bending moment. Axle is consisting of only, it doesn't rotate, so that's why it has only bending moment. There is no transmission of power, that's why it has only bending moment. Spindle is a small shaft which is used for cutting tool or a workpiece. So cutting tool in the drilling, and workpiece for the lathe spindle. So shaft is basically of two. It is classified according to two: function and physical appearance. Function, it has transmission and machine shaft. Transmission shaft and machine shaft. Transmission is consisting of counter, line, jack. So transmission shaft is nothing but, so it is used to transmit power from source machine to another machine. So those two are the different parts, different machines. So their power produced at some place, that is source, to another machine. We use this transmission shaft. It can be line, counter, jack, or all factors. So machine shaft is a crankshaft. So it is integral part of the shaft, which is inside the machine itself. So according to physical appearance, cylindrical shaft and spline shaft. Cylindrical is consisting of solid and hollow. So hollow is having a hole inside the cylinder. So there are different types of materials we use for the shaft. For ordinary shaft, we use low carbon steel, that is lesser than the 0.4 carbon. So that is mild steel. And for the high strength, we use alloy steels like nickel, chromium, and chrome vanadium. So it is a very costly and high strength. So these shafts can be used, machining processes can be hot rolled or cold rolled process. So next we have standard sizes. So standard sizes of the standard lengths are 5 meter, 6 meter, and 7 meters. So these are the standard lengths of the shaft, and standard diameters are, so in between 25 mm to 60 mm diameter it is 5 mm step, in between 60 to 110 it is 10 mm step, 110 to 140 it is 15 mm step, 140 to 500 it is 20 mm steps. So these are the different diameters and different sizes. These are the standard sizes. If you want, it can be readily available. If you want different sizes, you have to give dimensions and can be specially made. So these are the different sizes of transmission shaft. So which is used to transmit the power. These are the general shafts. So next we have different stresses. So based on these stresses, we are going to design the shaft. So shaft design is based on the strength and rigidity. So shafts are designed based on the strength and rigidity. So the cross section of the shaft must and should have resist the action involved forces. So shafts should be shaft must and should have high strength so that it can sustain the external forces. So external stresses, that is, the stresses developed on the shaft can be sustained based on the cross section. So here there are different stresses developed, that is shear stress due to the transmission of torque. So mainly shafts are designed based on the shear stress because the shaft has to transmit power from one place to another place. So it has to transmit at high speed so that there is a more torque, so that there is a high shear strength. To survive that, it has to have the high cross section. Based on the cross section can be designed on the based on shear stress. Cross section is nothing but cross section of the shaft is nothing but the diameter you have to design. So for the constant one, generally it has a bending stress, so that can be either compressive or tensile due to the forces acting upon the machine elements like gaze, pulleys, so a self weight of the shaft. So it can be, if there is a light weight compared to the transmission, the bending stress can be avoided. So stresses due to combined torsional and bending loads. So this is the second case where you can have both shear as well as bending. So these are the different stresses that can be developed on the shaft. So based on these stresses, we need to design the shaft. the main purpose is that is you need to design the shaft based on the stresses so that it cannot be break when it is transmitting the power from one place to another place. So if it has low strength, if it has a break in middle of the transmission of power, there is a huge loss of human or machine can be damaged. So that it has to survive all these stresses. So in this we were discussed about the general applications, various types and materials used and different stresses developed. So generally the frequently asked question is what is a shaft, classification of shafts and stresses developed in the shaft and list out the sizes of the shaft. So this is all about the introduction part of the shaft. So we'll see in the next class, that is design of the shaft. So design of the shaft based on the torsion and so based on the strength, we'll discuss in the next chapter and problems on these stresses. So this is about shaft.